Good morning. Welcome to Hindu Newspaper Analysis 7th December 2022. Today is Armed Forces Flag Day. Since 1949, 7th December is observed as Armed Forces Flag Day throughout the country. This is to honor the martyrs and the men in uniform who fight on our borders to safeguard country's honor. Theme of 2022 Armed Forces Flag Day is to provide rehabilitative assistance to the relatives of war victims. First article mentions about curbing terror financing in Afghanistan holds the key to regional security. We know that Central Asia is one of the integral part of Indian civilization. If you observe, Central Asian countries have trade alliances with Indian traders from Gujarat. It is also noted that the mighty Mughal Emperor Babur also migrated from Central Asian countries. The development of Sufism and even correction of Buddhism also had relevance with Central Asia. Apart from that, Central Asia is also important for us in nowadays to connect with energy-rich countries and to have proper and prosperous trade at the Central Asian countries. From 1990s onwards, we have a program called as Connect Central Asia, through which India is engaging with Central Asian countries. We do have Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which is a gateway to connect Central Asian countries. Apart from that, India is also engaging with Central Asian countries in various multilateral platforms like UN, so on and so forth. So this is the time even Central Asian countries plays an important role in tackling the extremism and terrorism also. In Shanghai Cooperation Organization, there is a special agency called as Regional Anti-Terrorism Structure, RACTS, and this will provide intelligence, expertise, knowledge and information on issues like terrorism, extremism, so on and so forth. So now at this point we are witnessing a new meeting, that is Central Asian countries and India National Security Advisors meeting, in which India discussed a lot about security affairs in the Central Asian countries. And here the country India said that the terror financing is one of the key strong issue in Afghanistan. Terror financing happens in two manners. One is official channel, one is non-official channels. Official channels includes banking, financial institutions support. Non-official channels includes arms trafficking, drugs trafficking or narcotics trade. So here our NSA, National Security Advisor, suggested that India should tackle these problems very clearly. Apart from that, India also emphasizing on the territorial integrity, respect towards the sovereignty and non-interference also. So this is a welcome step towards the Taliban in Afghanistan. And yesterday also we found that Taliban is also having soft corner towards India, and it asked India to revive the investment projects in Afghanistan. Let us wait and watch for the next developments within the Afghanistan region. Next, Delhi choking, but do not blame stubble burning. This article highlights the impacts of pollution in Delhi. Apart from that, it is also highlighting the reasons for the pollution in Delhi. You need to understand that according to WHO, that is World Health Organization, India has highest deaths due to air pollution. Indian Medical Association mentioned that prolonged exposure to air pollution can raise the risk of causing strokes, heart diseases, lung cancer, chronic acute respiratory issues. Apart from that, Center for Science and Environment in 2017 in its report mentioned that 30% of all premature deaths in India are due to air pollution. Then World Bank in its reports mentioned that air pollution significantly affecting the economy due to closing down of industries and disrupting the trade and also rising the road accidents. So World Bank mentioned that road accidents is also because of air pollution due to smog and everything. Apart from that, economy is affected by closing down of industries. Then schools closing is also affecting children's education activities. So the major reasons for the pollution are highlighted that not only stubble burning. You know what is stubble burning is about? Punjab and Haryana and some parts of Uttar Pradesh farmers, in a hurry to cultivate the crops, they will burn the crop residue, and that will affect the soil fertility, apart from that emitting a lot of harmful global warming gases. Apart from that, other highlighted that is recently Aam Aadmi Party Chief Minister, President and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal blamed stubble burning in the neighborhood states. But we need to understand one important thing. Air pollution has different sources. For example, mobile sources like cars and buses, stationary sources like power plants and oil refineries, and areas like agriculture, cities, and weather sources, stagnant wind. Now, according to National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration of USA, NOAA, pollution has two important sources. One is point source, one is non-point source. Point source in which you can find the source of the pollutants, whereas non-point sources is difficult to find the pollutants. So here is a case. In Delhi, you will find non-point sources. For example, vehicular emissions. Almost 80% of different harmful gases emit from the vehicular emissions. Next, point sources, high amount of industries, brick clients, and also unregulated industries and tanneries also emitting a lot of pollutants. Now, what is important is, other highlighted that it is even public transport also providing a lot of emissions. Now, others suggested that there should be happy seeders available to the farmers to give up the stubble burning. Public transport at renewable energy level, say it can be electric vehicles, as Delhi plans to deploy electric vehicle buses. And it is also important that air pollution can be tackled by policies, like we have good policies like AQI, SUFFER, and graded action response plan, in which if it is suggesting that to close down the thermal power plants. So all these things should be done to tackle the air pollution. So apart from blaming only stubble burning, others suggested that there are other reasons also we should focus. Next article talks about Yuan Wang surveillance vessels of China re-enter India Ocean. You need to understand these developments from the background level. It was during the time of Mao Zedong, Chohu Elroy, the then Prime Minister, brought the idea of Yuan Wang class tracking ships. The main idea is to track and conducting spying in the enemy territories. So this is a very interesting plan put forward by Chohu Elroy in 1965, and even it approved by Mao Zedong in 1968. This is Yuan Wang fifth class surveillance vessel. 1, 2, 3, 4 conducted different areas. For example, fourth one conducted surveillance over the Australia region. Now, fifth one is conducting tracking and conducting the spying in different areas. And November month, there was an article in Hindustan Times talks about Yuan Wang 6 is also entering into surveillance into the Lombok Strait in the Indian Ocean region. So you need to understand that this kind of surveillance is very bad and affecting the sovereignty of the other countries. However, that is the Chinese policies which is right now working very well for them to know about what is enemy activities from the satellite states. Next article talks about in Tamil Nadu Dalit hamlet, Kangaroo court puts price on union of love. The idea of Kangaroo court was in news because of several factors. It was ex-CJI, N.V. Ramana spoke about kangaroo courts which are run by media causing harm to democracy. In a lecture, he gave this critical statement against the kangaroo courts. Allahabad High Court judge is also accused kangaroo courts which are affecting the investigating process. According to Oxford Dictionary, kangaroo courts are unofficial courts held by a group of people in order to try someone, especially without good evidence in crimes. In other manner, kangaroo courts are the courts which will conduct unfair, biased investigation and lacks legitimacy. Recently in Tamil Nadu, you found that a Dalit village, Pradeep, a person who married another girl who belongs to the same community, their marriage was blessed by all the family members, both accepted it. However, it got negative response from the community head. He imposed a penalty. So this kind of kangaroo courts are not suitable in democracy, as said by Justice N.V. Ramana sir. At the same time, it is also not suitable for the truly liberal democratic country like India. Next article talks about pendency of 5 crores cases is grave concern. Kiran Rijiju. It is unfortunate that the pendency in India is rising like anything. Well, we will take a separate discussion about pendency, but we need to remember that pendency is very harmful to the Indian democracy. Economic survey stated that apart from social impacts, even rising pendency also impact the economic aspects. For example, the rising pendency affecting the contract enforcement and also delaying the judiciary, delaying the justice or judgments, also affecting the investment mechanism in India. So pendency is harmful in socio-economic and political aspects. So we need to take care about this pendency. But as I told you, we will wait and watch for the next developments. We will take a separate audio on this pendency. Next, China reiterates its stand on no first use policy. It is well known fact that no first use policy put forward by several countries in the world. In 1964, after conducting its test, China announced no first use policy. In 1998, after Pokhran 2 or Operation Shakti, Prime Minister Vajpayee announced no first use policy. This no first use policy aims to say that nuclear weapons formally refrains from the use in war. I mean to say, this is to say that in a first attack, they won't use nuclear weapons. It comes under nuclear ethics and deterrence theory, which says that it's a pledge in which countries will formally say they won't use nuclear weapons on the first attack. Next article talks about Europe concern about US IRA, Inflation Reduction Act, which was announced by USA in the month of August, is now a debate over European countries. Things are very simple. Nowadays, developer countries are announcing their climate actions. To begin with, Japan announced Invest in Kisida plan, which aims to create 1 million investment in climate change activities. European Union announced Fit for 55 to reduce 55% of their emissions. And it's a turn to USA, which announced this Inflation Reduction Act, which is also a part of Build Back Better project of Joe Biden government. Other scholars mentioning that this Inflation Reduction Act aims to reduce the dependency of USA over China with respect to renewable energy materials. This plan includes, that is, Inflation Reduction Act IRA includes tax credits, that is, tax incentives to the manufacturers in USA. Then it also placed some tax breaks to the companies on the working on the climate change. It announced health and also provided special funding to the electric vehicles, so on and so forth. The major contention issue is it is giving subsidies and tax credits to the local manufacturers, whereas European Union concern is they want to enter into the USA market as a renewable energy market, as a person's renewable energy manufacturing companies, but they were constrained by this act. So that means simple. Now European Union markets has to find other markets like India, which is important opportunity for all of us. Next important one, AI Chat GPT. Nothing is important here except what is this, the word Chat GPT. Chat GPT is a AI tool which will help the natural language conversations. It is based on the AI. That's it. That's all for today. Thank you so much and Jai Hind.